Hi, I'm Bill Bradley. Join me for a recent excerpt of American Voices. What makes for a stressful workday? Is it a difficult meeting or gridlock on your morning commute? Well, imagine if your workday included driving a car underneath a moving semi-truck and then flipping the car. Or if you had to drive a motorcycle and jump over a 30-foot ravine. That's what my next guest does at work. Veteran stuntwoman Debbie Evans has performed stunts in The Fast and Furious, The Matrix Reloaded, Taxi, Remington Steele, and 200 other TV shows and movies. She's the winner of 7 Taurus World Stunt Awards. That's more than any man or woman has ever won. And she's been inducted into the Motorcycle Hall of Fame. Debbie Evans is here with me now. Debbie, thanks for coming on American Voices.
My pleasure. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So how did you get started doing this? Did you like being a daredevil when you were a kid?
As a kid, I learned how to ride a motorcycle when I was 6 years old. My dad taught me, unbeknownst to my mom, and I used to ride against the boys and the men because there were no women that were my level. And then just in general, I loved every sport I could get my hands on. I was always doing things active. It's what I love.
So a decathlon is not enough events for you.
Hey, if there had been a good program for that in my school, I would have definitely gone after it.
Right. But how did you turn it into a career?
It was funny because I never really thought about it. I was riding for Yamaha doing national championship events against the men in my high school years.
In your high school years?
Yeah. Yamaha would send me to all these different events all over the country, Astrodome, Pontiac Stadium, all the big events. And I would leave high school on a Friday and fly to, say, Houston, and then I do a balancing act where I stand on my head on the seat of my motorcycle while it's balanced with no kickstand.
Oh, my gosh.
And so between that and my competition, I got a lot of press and publicity in the motorcycle world, and someone needed a girl who could do a 30-foot jump on a motorcycle over a ravine, and they happened to just get a hold of my dad, and I kind of took off from there. But it was funny because about 6 months before that, I saw a guy on a TV show riding a motorcycle that was supposed to be a girl.
Huh.
And his neck was like a football player, and his shoulders were just as big. And it was so obvious, and I said, well, I could do that. And I checked around, and back then you had to either have a Screen Actors Guild card or you had to know somebody who could get you in the business, and I didn't have either. So I signed up for my next year of junior college to get my general ed out of the way, and it was September, and the phone rang. And that was 41 years ago.
Wow. So let's assume you get a new job. How does it work? Tell us how involved you are in the choreography of the scene.
Well, normally when we work, we have a stunt coordinator who gets the script ahead of time, breaks it down, works out most of it. But then when we get on set, there's certain things we have to do. So I work closely with the stunt coordinator in getting those things done. And he'll present what he wants, and because of my motorcycling background, I understand things like traction, momentum, suspension. So what I do is I analyze it all. It's kind of like a puzzle for me, and I enjoy that part of it probably as much as I do doing the stunt work because I get to figure out how to make it work. I can make a car or a motorcycle have a personality.
How do you do that?
If someone's hurt and they're on a bike, I'm acting while I'm on the bike. If someone's supposed to be a racer and they're really hot, I've got to mimic the movements of a racer. If someone's a beginner rider, I have to make it look like I really don't know what I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
So it's,
sure.
If someone's drunk, you really have to put that
into your act,
energy and movement in there, or else it comes across like stale, just stagnant.
Right. Tell us about some of your favorite stunts.
Well, the one underneath the semi-truck on the first Fast and Furious, because, not only did I drive underneath the semi, the truck hits me, and then I flip the car off the side of the road. at 50 miles an hour.
So you go under the truck, and then how do you flip a car?
Well, we had what's called a pipe ramp, and you run the undercarriage of the car up the pipe ramp. So we did it in 3 shots. We did the underneath the truck. Then we did the big tractor tires hitting my car and me going off. And then the third one was coming alongside of the tractor trailer and then hitting the ramp and going off the side of the road down the embankment and flipping the car.
So, any other favorite stunts?
Yes, Matrix Reloaded. I was Trinity, and I drove the Cadillac CTS and rode the Ducati 996.
I need to download the Hotwire motorcycle.
Not a problem. 1 crash course and motorcycle.
Wait. Cancel that. You are handy. Jump on.
And it was a major, major movie with tons of stunts that they thought they were going to have to do computer generated, and we did it all for real. And that was quite a thrill.
They must have been shocked.
Yeah, and then my other favorite one actually is Herbie Fully Loaded, because I was driving Herbie. We had 27 Herbie cars, and there was Junkyard Herbie, NASCAR Herbie, Pimped Out Herbie. You know, there was all these Demolition Derby Herbie, and we had all these different versions of Herbie. And, you know, Herbie was a star. So
Right.
I got to give Herbie the personality.
Ma. Is there anything you do to protect yourself?
Always. I look for an out, you know, when, say, there's a big truck coming through a wall and we're just sitting there at tables. You turn your feet out to the side so you don't get hooked up in the tables. You talk to everybody else on the, you know, that's on the stunt team, find out which direction they're planning on going so you don't have a collision and get all tied up. And you make sure that you have that out. That's something that my mentor, Jeannie Epper, taught me years and years ago. I was lucky enough to have that mentorship early on, and even now we're like really close. But those kind of things, dissecting it and not just saying, oh, that's a piece of cake, I don't need to worry about it. Just thinking about it, figuring everything else out. You know, when I crash a car, on purpose, of course,
Oh, by the way, have you ever had a real crash?
my husband and I got rear-ended
Uh-huh.
by a drunk, and yeah, so that was a real crash. But other than that, I'm pretty good at avoiding them.
So do you drive when you and your husband are going out to dinner?
He usually drives.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You ever give him any tips?
Like backseat driving, yeah.
Right. So, you know, you're a grandmother now. What kind of tips can you give to the rest of us about dealing with fear? Because you obviously have done a great job.
Fear can be a motivator. If you let fear take over your life, you won't do anything or accomplish anything, and you won't get to live your life to the fullest. But, you know, we all go, okay, anything could happen at any time, so let's live our lives. Let's go out there and enjoy, experience, just get out there and don't let the fear stop us from doing anything. And I'm so grateful. I wouldn't change a thing. I've been hurt before at work.
Like what happened?
I got hit by a car. I was on a motor scooter in a movie, and it took the ball of my hip and punched it through my pelvis. And then I got knocked out and broke my hand and was in the hospital for 19 days. And it took me a year to get back to work. And when I did go back to work, my biggest worry was how I was going to walk from the parking structure to the set. So I was on that job, and I thought, you know, maybe I should quit. And then I got in the car, and I knew exactly what to do, exactly how fast to go, how much life to give the car to make it look good without crashing through the facade. And then I had a girl on the hood that I had to come in and slam on the brakes and pitch her off into camera. And I knew exactly what to do, and I'm going, I love this. I can't quit, and I have so much experience. And to me, the whole world is an opportunity to learn something new.
Right. Well, that's a good message. Debbie, thanks for telling us about your job.
Pleasure, and the best to you. And You have an amazing career, and it's so inspiring. And I'm so glad you're doing this show to inspire others.
Well, thank you very much. Now when we see dangerous stunts on TV, we'll have a better understanding of what's going on.
Yep, you sure will.
You've given the listeners a lot. Thank you so much.
Okay, take care.
I've been speaking with veteran stuntwoman Debbie Evans. To find out more and to see pictures of Debbie doing her stunts, visit us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/American Voices with Senator Bill Bradley. Thank you for listening to American Voices here on my YouTube channel. For more interviews celebrating the goodness and creativity of the American people, click the subscribe button below.